Let's speak to Dave. He's an Everton fan. Does he like his club at the moment? Hello, Dave.
I haven't liked my club for 10 years, about 20 years.
Is it getting worse, or is it just the same?
No, it's the same. This isn't Frank Lampard's fault. This has been a long time in the making. I think we last spoke maybe regarding managers on this show before the Merseyside derby in December, and on that time, an hour before kick-off, I was saying Rafa needed to go that night. I called our team cowards, the lazy, spineless cowards with no character, no leadership. They're not talented enough. The back four, Andy got it spot on before when he was talking about Mason Holgate, not good enough. Michael Keane, not good enough. John Joe Kenny, not good enough. Put them all into one back four, and it's a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately for Frank Lampard, we've appointed him 6 or 7 weeks too late. When Rafa should have gone early December when we knew there was this issue, we appoint him. We sack Rafa 3 days after he goes and sells Luca Digne, which is absolutely scandalous.
That was nuts.
You put Frank Lampard in charge on the last day, and you go and get a loan sign in El Ghazi, who hasn't seen the pitch for more than a couple of minutes when you needed a defender. Listen, you say if things changed. Well, do you know what? Frank's got to tune out to them at home a little bit, and it's the Goodison crowd that has won us points. We've beat Leeds at home, we've beat Newcastle at home. We've got a couple of easy games coming up with the likes of Brentford and Man United. So there's 6 points. And then you hope you get a couple of points on the road against the likes of... Well, you hope you don't lose to Burnley and you don't lose to Watford. So you don't let them get any closer to you.
So, Dave, look, let's assume that you do manage to find whatever's required to survive. So what's got to happen in the summer? You've had lots of these false dawns where you've spent big money. You've had accomplished managers coming through the door and have got through a lot of money. So what's Frank got to do this summer?
Well, I think, first of all, what the club have got to do is stop sacking managers. You've made a decent appointment this time. You need to give the man time. You need to let him sort things out. You need to get rid of the dead wood. And unfortunately, that's about 80-90% of the squad. I could probably count on one hand the players you would keep.
See, that's a problem, Dave, because you actually can't physically get rid of... You can't send 14 out the door. You can't... Absolutely. I know you'd want to, Dave, but you can't do that because you might not get 14 through the door, and then you can be short and leave yourself in trouble that way. So, but there must be 5 or 6 or 7 there at Goodison that you think, come on, you've had long enough now. You've had long enough to show us what you can and can't do, and you're just not producing it. It's time to move on and go and do it somewhere else. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a slow process, as you say. Listen, our deadwood, who's going to want to sign them? Half of them you wouldn't be able to get rid of. You're relying on people's contracts expiring. But if Frank can keep us up, things will hopefully turn around.
Dave,
the main thing for us at the moment is survival.
Dave, just a quick question: if you were to go down, is Frank Lampard the man to bring you back up?
I know we've had this conversation before. You called Frank a bit of a failure with Derby and not getting him up. But I can't see how we're going to attract anyone better. The issue you've got with Everton is we've made really, really bad choices and bad signings with Premier League players. If Everton go down, what makes anybody think that we're going to suddenly start signing decent players who can get us out the Championship? That's a good point. It's a rocky road. It's a rocky road to ruin, and that's why survival, especially with the stadium on the horizon, we've literally just got to get through this season and survive. And you know what? Listen, we've got 11 games. All other teams around us, when you look at the table, have only got 8, and it's all right saying, yes, we've got games in hand, but yeah, we've got to get points. And we understand.
Dave, when did you last call drive time, Dave?
When we were looking to appoint Frank Lampard, and I was for him. Okay,
make sure it's not as long next time you call back. Great call, thanks, Dave.
Yes, chat.
And Dave, you see, for Frank, right, for younger coaches, I think it's slightly more difficult for Frank in this situation he finds himself at Everton. As a younger coach going in, he doesn't want to just do what, for argument's sake, Big Sam has done in a few of his jobs when he just walked through the door. And Sam, being Sam, and at that stage of his career, towards the end of his management, that he wasn't caring necessarily about what people thought or about the way he was going to do it or the way he was going around. Just go in there and do it. Just go in there and keep this team up, Sam. And he become very efficient at that and very, very good at that, and deserved actually more credit than he ever really truly got at times for being able to do that, because it's not easy. As a younger coach, Frank's a younger guy and he's coming in there with a fantastic reputation as a player, and a solid personality as an individual. But he's going in there as a younger coach, being compared to Gerrard, Graham Potter, younger guy out there who's got a nice football team with Brighton, managing to win matches, managing to add a bit of style to
maybe
and substance.
Vieira as well.
Patrick, I love what Patrick's doing at Palace. So Frank, as the difficulty for Frank at the moment is his team are so poor that on the agenda, the only thing on the agenda is just keep them up, just win a game, like a couple more games, whatever it's required to probably just about be enough. And then I think at the start of next season, he would want some serious backing and really be able to shape. And I think at that time, I think after 10 games next season, if Everton are still looking a bit all over the place, up and down, good 1 minute, not so good the next, etc., well, then I think you can ask questions. But right now, I think it's very unfair to ask him to put any doubt over Frank's position as the manager.